This is the dura mater which is covering the brain. Set. Now we have cut this sagittally on either side of the superior sagittal side. That means falx cerebri. On either side of the falx cerebri we have cut. Then we have reflected like this. Right? So you remember one thing. There will be two layers of dura mater. Okay? These two layers of dura mater, one is present outside, that means it is intimately covering the bone, that means inner surface of the cranium. That what we are calling endosteum. And another layer which is present deep to it. Imagine this is one layer and this is another layer. These two layers always attached to each other, that means they are approximated with each other. But except some spaces, these two will be separated and forms a space, right? So that space what we are calling sinus, right? Which sinus is that? No, all sinuses, right? Dural venous sinuses, right? Space which is present in between the endosteal layer and meningeal layer, right? It forms a spaces. Those spaces what we are calling dural venous sinuses, right? These dural venous sinuses are valveless, that means no valves in them. Actually they are veins only, but we cannot see the structure like different layers of veins like tunica intima, tunica media, tunica adventitia. Those things you cannot see. Within the dura mater space we can found the lining epithelium, simple squamous epithelium. That's it, right? So here this dura mater will show some folds. Those folds, here one fold is there. This is, see, it is looking like falx. It is like a sickle. So this fold what we are calling falx cerebri. This is falx cerebri, right? See, this is falx cerebri. All are you able to see it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, this is falx cerebri, right? Then here, see this I have cut when I am removing this, right? So this is, see, it is separating the, here cerebrum will be there, here cerebellum will be present. In between the cerebrum and cerebellum, here one fold is there. This fold is separating, but it is acting as, or it is forming the roof for the cerebellum or tent for the cerebellum. That's what this fold what you are calling tentorium cerebelli. What is this?
Tentorium cerebelli.
It is tent for the cerebellum, right? Then here one more fold is there. It's clear.
Yeah.
This fold. This is the fold. Is it? This fold here. Okay. This is a fold. Okay. This fold what we are calling. This is also falx only. It is also like sickle shaped only. So that's what this is falx cerebelli. This is falx cerebri and this is falx cerebellum. Two cerebellar hemispheres. It's separate to cerebellar hemispheres. This one. This is falx cerebelli. Right? These are the three folds. And one more fold is present here. Actually, this is sella turcica. This is middle cranial fossa. Okay, give me the scalpel. This is hardly half gram. Okay. Pituitary gland. Yeah, it is very small.
It is so small. That is infundibulum, sir.
Yes.
Picture. Hey, hold it, no?
These are two other optic nerves, and this is the sella turcica. This is the internal carotid artery, and this is internal carotid artery, and this is oculomotor. And here one more nerve is going, that is fourth cranial nerve. Okay, oculomotor. Okay, just below that we can see the trochlea. Okay, Here I have cut the roof of the sella turcica and I have removed pituitary gland. That means that is the fold which is covering the sella turcica. That fold what we are calling diaphragma sella. So I have cut the diaphragma sella and I have removed of pituitary gland. Right? This is optic nerve. This is internal carotid artery. This is oculomotor. Okay? And here deep to this. This is trochlea. Okay? Now we'll see what are the different attachments of different folds and what are the different dural venous sinuses that we'll see. Now we know that this is falx cerebri, this is falx cerebelli, this is tentorium cerebelli and this is the diaphragma sella. Very? Diaphragma sella we cut, right? Here it is. We cut the diaphragma sella and we have removed out the pituitary gland. So we have cut the roof of the sella turcica. Right? Clear? Then what are the attachments of falx cerebri? See, we have already discussed that anteriorly it is attaching to the crista galli. See, this is what? Crista galli. Right? So, this bony projection is there. This bony projection what we are calling crista galli. Anteriorly it is attaching to the crista galli. Then posteriorly where it is attaching? Yeah, over the upper surface of tentorium cerebelli. See, is it attaching like this? See? Posteriorly, it is attaching to the upper surface of tentorium cerebelli. Right? Then, it is having the two margins. Yeah. See, this is the distal attachment, posterior attachment over the tentorium cerebelli. Right? So, now, in relation with the falx cerebri, what are the different dural venous sinuses are present? The dural venous, yeah. See here one sinus is there. I think you can see this. This is superior sagittal sinus, right? And here, along this lower margin, one sinus is there. It's very tiny. It's very small structure. This is inferior sagittal sinus. You remember one thing. Almost all dural venous sinuses present in between the endostal layer and meningeal layer. But in case of inferior sagittal sinus, it is present within the meningeal layer only. How? It will be folded like this. That means on either side, it is coming in the lower part. So, two layers are meningeal layers. Okay? This also you have to remember. Then, one more sinus which are present in relation with the attachment. See here, at the attachment, here one dark color sinus is there.
Yes, sir. Straight sinus.
Is it? This is straight sinus. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Are you able to see?
Yes, sir.
Let her see. This is straight sinus. Right? Clear? This falx cerebri, it is separating the two cerebral hemispheres. Up to one white matter is there. Okay? That is corpus callosum. Up to corpus callosum it is separated. Clear? Then, next fold, this one. What is this? Tentorium cerebelli. This tentorium cerebelli, it is having the attached margin and free margin. See, this is the free margin. This is free margin. This, see here, this is the free margin. This free margin is like U shape.
Yes.
Okay? Is it?
Yes, sir.
So it is forming the tentorial notch. This forms the notch. Right? So this notch what we are calling tentorial notch, through which midbrain is passing. Is it? So this is tentorial notch. Then if it is free margin somewhere it has to attach, right?
Yes, sir.
So this free margin goes forwards and attaches to the one process here. This is anterior glenoid process, free margin. Free margin is attaching to the anterior glenoid process. Free margin is attaching to the anterior glenoid process. Right? So in the posterior part it forms a notch. Okay? So that is tentorial notch for the passage of midbrain. Then here this is attached margin, right? Is it? This is attached margin. Up from here to here, this is attached margin. This attached margin, posteriorly it is attaching to the occipital bone and also posterior-inferior angle of the parietal bone. This is posterior part of attached margin and this is anterior part of attached margin. This posterior part of the attached margin contains one venous sinus. That venous sinus what we are calling transverse sinus. So here what you are seeing is transverse sinus. Okay? This is transverse sinus. Clear?
Yes, sir.
So it is attaching to the, see here this is transverse sinus, right? So this attached margin, posteriorly it is attaching to the margins of transverse sulcus. Transverse sulcus means where it is present? It is present in the bone. Okay? Transverse sulcus means it is present in the bone. Along the margins of the sulcus, this fold is attaching. Clear? This fold, attached margin of tentorium cerebelli. Then anterior attachment is there. See, this is anterior attachment. This is anterior attachment. Is it? So this anterior attachment is attaching to the petrous part of temporal bone. Okay? This is petrous part. Okay? Upper margin of petrous part of temporal bone. See, this is upper margin of petrous part of temporal bone. So it is attaching to the, yes, this one. See, it is attaching or not? This is attaching here along the upper margin of petrous part of temporal bone. Okay? Along with that, it will attaching anterior, it is coming forwards and attaching to the posterior clinoid process also. So it is attaching to the petrous part of temporal bone and also attaching to the posterior clinoid process. Right?
Yes, sir.
So this is the attachment. Then along the anterior attachment also there will be one sinus. What is that sinus? Superior petrosal sinus. That means along this there will be one sinus is there. See here, it's a black color one.
Yes, sir.
Is it? This is superior petrosal sinus. Here, this is superior petrosal sinus. Okay? This is superior petrosal sinus. Clear? It's okay now? So this is about the tentorium cerebelli. Tentorium cerebelli is superiorly it is convex, inferiorly concave. Okay? Superior convex surface related with the occipital lobes of cerebrum. Okay? Then inferior concave surface related with the superior surface of cerebellum. Clear? Is it okay now? Then next fold is diaphragma sella. Okay? Diaphragma sella, anteriorly it is attaching to the, here one tubercle is there, anterior to this, tuberculum sella. Posteriorly attaching to the dorsum sella. Anteriorly tuberculum sella, posterior dorsum sella. Right? Then on either side it will be continuing as roof of the cavernous sinus. It is on either side it will be continuous as roof of the cavernous sinus. Right? Here, this is the cavernous sinus. Here, this is cavernous sinus. This is cavernous sinus. This one and this one. On either side of the body of the sphenoid. Here, this sinus is there. Here, this is cavernous sinus.
So then what is present in this region?
Here, here. This is temporal lobe of brain in cerebrum. Okay, here frontal lobe. Here occipital lobe. Here cerebellum. Where? Cavernous sinus is here.
Then it is between the temporal lobe of the brain and
Yes. In relations, you will be telling that laterally there will be temporal lobe or uncus of the temporal lobe, and also one more structure that is entering into the infratemporal fossa, foramen ovale and mandibular nerve. Is it? Those are only lateral relations for the cavernous sinus. Is it or not? Right? So that is cavernous sinus. Right? So what we are discussing now? Diaphragma sella. Anteriorly tuberculum sella, posteriorly dorsum sella. On either side it will be continuous as roof of the cavernous sinus. That's it. Right? So that is about diaphragma sella. Now here this is, what is this fold?
The fox
Cerebellum. This is the falx cerebelli. This falx cerebelli, it is separating the two cerebellar hemispheres. It is separating two cerebellar hemispheres here. Right? Here two cerebellar hemispheres will be there. It is separating. Actually, only one cerebellum is there, but two cerebellar hemispheres are there. Okay? Two cerebellar hemispheres are there. So this is what? Falx cerebelli. This falx cerebelli is triangular in shape. So apex is downwards and base is upwards. So if it is, just imagine this is the base. Show that. This is base. Okay? This is apex. This is base and this is apex. So base is attaching to where? Base is, okay. Base is, wanted to see? Base is attaching to the lower surface of the tentorium cerebelli. And apex, this is apex is there, no? The lower part. This apex is directing downwards, and when it is reaching to the foramen magnum. That means in the upper part of the foramen magnum, it is splitting. It will be splitting. Okay. See here, it is splitting and attaching to the margins of foramen magnum. Okay. Is it? Okay. Then posteriorly where it is attached? See here, this is the base ma. It is attaching to the lower surface of the tentorium cerebelli, and this is apex. Here in the lower part it is splitting. See here, this is one fold, this is another fold. It is splitting and attaching to the margins of foramen magnum. Then now you know where base is attaching, where apex is attaching, and where posterior margin is attaching. We know that anterior margin is free. This anterior margin is free, because of that only cerebellum is separating into two halves, right? So along the posterior margin, this posterior margin where it is attaching? It is attaching to the internal occipital crest. Internal occipital crest. So here it is attaching to the internal occipital crest, right? Then within this fold, any sinus is there? Yes, occipital sinus, right? So within this fold there will be, you can see the blue color. So within this fold you can see the occipital sinus. Here within this fold you can see here. Okay, that is occipital sinus, right? So these are the different dural folds and their attachments, right? Now we will see what are the different sinuses which are present in the cranial cavity, right? Dural, we already discussed that dural venous sinuses means these are the spaces which are present in the meningeal layer and endosteal layer, right? Except inferior sagittal sinus, in that it is present in between the meningeal layer sinus, right? Superior sagittal sinus is present in between the endosteal layer and meningeal layer. Okay, because endosteal layer is covering like this, then meningeal layer it will be fused up to here. When it is forming the sinus, it will be coming like this from this both sides. Now sinus is here, right? So this is endosteal layer and this is meningeal layer here. In between these two, this sinus is there. Clear? So this is superior sagittal sinus. Now we'll see what are the different sinuses which are present here. First one, if you coming to the sagittal sinus, that sinus we have already seen. So this is the superior sagittal sinus. Okay, it is present in the upper margin of falx cerebri. It is present in the upper margin of falx cerebri. This is transverse sinus. This is the transverse sinus, right? Right transverse sinus. So superior sagittal. This one superior sagittal sinus. When it reaches to the internal occipital protuberance, it will be continuous as right transverse sinus. Okay. Sorry? Sinus is nothing but the space between the endosteal layer and meningeal layer. Okay. It is filled with venous blood. It is present in the dura mater. Okay. And it is filled with venous blood. Okay. And it is a space. So dural venous sinus. Right? Actually, even though it is filled with venous blood, it is not having the structure like vein, like tunica media, tunica intima, tunica adventitia. These things will not be there. Only wall will be there, dura mater covering will be there, and it doesn't have even walls also. It doesn't have even walls, right?